What is up, everybody? Ace here, and I am back playing on the JFS, and I've been doing more TNT stuff up there, but we're going to do some more digging today and talk about UHC Season 21. Do a little recap as usual. Let me just put some of this stuff away. There we go. Got our pick, which we need to make sure it doesn't break while we do this. But yes, let's get up to where we were. Actually, we can go this way to get there. So, yeah, UHC Season 21 has come and gone. Congratulations to Sjano and Dennis for picking up the win. As usual, I'm going to go episode by episode, talk about the leaderboard a little bit, as well as some other changes that have happened there. And, yeah, just talk about how things went. So yeah, we did teams of 2, random teams of 2. We were going to do teams of 4, however, we only had 11 people show up on their own, and Jad was gracious enough to join us to be the 12th man of the season. So, we kick things off. I was teamed up with the biggest killer. And first episode mainly consisted of a few things, most notably running into other players early on, as well as a bit of a false start with spawning outside the border. But yeah, we ran into some people pretty early. Killer and I found Canuck, and by extension, Fruit. Right. And everybody else basically found everybody else. We didn't we didn't see any of the others. Right. I'm trying to speed this process along a little bit more. So I'm making use of the beacons to trim this stuff down. But yeah, so we did that. Had some run-ins with some teammates, not teammates, other teams, and we started in a village, or near a village, took that over, got some stuff. The cave that we went in on the first episode didn't really have much, so by the second episode we moved to a new village, and this one just so happened to have something that Killer wanted to purchase. The villagers were selling a Fortune 3 book. So we tried out a nice little new tactic that nobody's really tried on the JFS. I think it's been done on Minecraft UHCs before. I can think of at least one time that's happened before. It was pretty interesting. So Killer spent the next couple episodes doing a bunch of trades to get that Fortune 3 book. Meanwhile, I did all the caving. And while I was doing all the caving, some action was starting up. Sjano and Dennis, if we dial back to episode 1, Sjano had a bit of a mulligan moment where he tried to beat Nix or Muck to the bottom of a desert temple to get the loot. However, he ran into, as he was digging down, a creeper dropped in on him and blew him up. And since that was in the first episode, or the first day of the first episode, he got a mulligan for that, and had to start fresh with absolutely nothing. But from there, they started to rebound, and they ended up going into the Nether to get potions. That's during episode 3, so my team was, or Killer and I, we were just doing our stuff, our usual stuff. Business transactions and caving. I found diamonds at the end of the 3rd episode, so that's cool. But yeah, Sjano and Dennis go into the Nether. Meanwhile, Joda and Panda come across Canuck and Fruit on their way out of their cave. Canuck and Fruit stop just beneath the surface. I believe they realized that Joda and Panda were nearby, so they tried to escape through a portal. Basically, they're going to try to use the nether portal to... they're going to attempt to use another portal to escape by going in one place and then coming out in another place. However, it did not quite work that way because they just came back. So plan B was to run, and Joda and Panda gave chase. Smart on Joda to, you know, as drunk as he was, he had some good tactics this season. Instead of following Panda up and out of the caves and to intercept them on the surface, he actually went into the portal area and flushed them out, which was really smart on him, on his part. Whether he intended to do that or not, whether it was an actual plan or not, it was still need to see. How am I? Okay, check my inventory. Let's see what else went on. They chased him down. Panda got both kills, so I got a double kill there. And Fruit and Canuck were eliminated from the season. Coming back to us, we finally got our Fortune 3 book. We mined those diamonds, found some more diamonds to mine, and we set to do some enchanting. And I got level 2 gear all the way through. Leaf Killer ended up doing similarly. So we were pretty well geared up. We actually had a good caving phase. Everything that we did played out really well. I think in any other season, that would have given us a significant chance to come away with a win, I think. Or at least where Killer is involved. However, things didn't play out that way. So we go up to the surface, we trade with some more villagers to get some arrows, and then make our way to 0-0, in which we realize that Joda and Panda are behind us. So we start shooting at each other a little bit, we set up a little fort, not really going anywhere with how we're doing things currently. So Joda and Panda back off, and they do the biggest flanking maneuver that we have ever seen. They, if we use a clock as a reference, we started fighting them. We found them directly behind us, so they were at the 6 o'clock position, and from there, they went all the way around, clockwise, all the way around to the, 2 o'clock position, up in the mountains. So they went from directly behind us to in front and to the right of us a little bit. So, but yeah, we ran into them a second time. See, that's what I want. Nice. This is so I don't dig too far that way. So yeah, we got into a more proper fight at that point. And, I took a lot of damage. I didn't really deal out much damage until, the melee part happened. But, you know, things are actually happening at this point. And, then we had the big TNT distraction where Joda and Panda set off some TNT and lagged me out and kind of confused us. And then Killer and I, we kind of got split up a little bit, which for me was actually not that bad. I was like, yeah, this could work out. We could, can you not? Because we could, you know, try to do a pincer maneuver or something, and try to give them the old squeeze. However, Joda and them, Joda and Panda countered it quite well. There was a couple different counters during that moment, because they countered us. They countered the pincer maneuver by charging me, which is smart because I'm the weaker of the two. and I countered that by kiting them over to Killer, who's the stronger of the two, which meant that they wouldn't be able to, in the worst case scenario, even if I die, they wouldn't get away with killing me. They wouldn't be able to just kill me and run. And that's basically how things played out. So I think in the long run, our team won out that game of tactics. But yeah, so they charged me, and then I ran back to Killer. He moved in to attack him, and then I guess he took a bunch of damage, so he backed off. That's when I ran up and started attacking Joda. And then he and Panda turned their attention back to me, which is smart, and focused on me. I had my shield up for most of it, and then I was going to fight back, but as soon as I let go of the mouse button, I died. So I didn't even get to do the whole shield animation at all. It's just, I'm gonna do this and I'm dead. So and then Killer swoops back in, like not even a second later, maybe a second or two later, and takes out Joda, and then after a brief scrum, kills Panda, and comes out on top of that battle. So overall, even though I lost my fight, the overall battle, we technically won. Well, not technically, we did win that battle, because Killer was the only one that survived that. So it was interesting, because it was kind of, even if none of it was actually intentional, none of it was definitely planned, but the fact that we had these little, we played pretty smart during all that. For me, it was just that one little mistake that I made of putting my shield down that did me in, which I'll talk more about in a second. So, but yeah, Killer survives. Meanwhile, final episode, Sjano and Dennis have their potions. Muck and Naxer are moving in. They spot Zalfa and Jad underground. And as they are trying to figure out how to get down to them, Sjano and Dennis roll up on top of this hill next to them, and they spot each other. And they were both kind of hesitant to deal with each other. Really? Like, rightfully so for Naxer's case, but Sjano and Dennis probably could have charged right in. But that's just me thinking about it. They both played a little hesitantly, which is fair. And then Naxer and Muck decided that they were going to go for Zalfa and Jad. I guess because on paper, those two should be the weaker ones. That's upwards. Yep. I don't want to be here. So yeah, they go after Zalfa and Jad, find a way down to them, start shooting at them, take down a lot of health, and then both the red team decide, we're not going to die to you guys, and so they both run off. Zalfa goes deeper into the caves and gets shot by a skeleton, and Jad tries to escape one way, but he ends up digging towards the border and has to turn around, but he eventually makes his way out. Meanwhile, blue team and green team finally spot each other, start fighting a little bit. Muck and Naxer pull off a little bit of magic by disappearing on Sjano and Dennis. And they run off towards 0-0, where Killer's waiting. They get into a bit of... they start shooting at each other a little bit. And then they try to back off, and back off right back into Sjano and Dennis, who happen to be behind one hill, with Jad behind another hill, and Jad takes a little shot at them. Like, who did that? As that's going on, Muck and Nixer just kind of swoop right in and just slide themselves right in between the two, just ever so casually, and find themselves in the middle of a big old fight. So they start shooting at Sjano and Dennis, who decide that they're going to charge in because they don't have bows. I need to remember this place. Oh, well, it's at the end of this ravine. Yeah, that's easy. And so, yeah, Sjano and Dennis charge in, and they take out Muck pretty quickly, and chase Nixer down into a little cave, and Sjano gets the double kill on him, and then Jad almost pulls off the heist of the century. He spotted some golden apples lying on the ground, ran over to grab them. As soon as he did, Sjano pops back out, and Jad decides to attack, and unfortunately loses that fight to Sjano, who scores a triple kill. So, good job to Sjano. So, at that point, we are down to Sjano and Dennis versus Killer, and in most situations, you'd be thinking, this is an easy one for Sjano and Dennis, but they are fighting Killer. But Sjano and Dennis have potions, so it's actually a pretty easy fight. Killer tries to surprise them, but he gets spotted. They get into a bit of a fight. Killer backs off. They chase him over to a different hill, fight a little bit more. Killer tries to run away again, and Dennis chases him down and gets the winning kill on him, and Sjano and Dennis win. So, that's 2 seasons in a row that Dennis has Killer's number. So, Killer might have found his kryptonite in the form of Old Man Dennis Flux. Oh, I did that. I was like, what is that? So, pretty good season. We made the best of a decidedly small group of people. So, just goes to show that you don't need, like, a whole 30 players to have a good season. The 12 of us made good use of this UHC. So, let me get into my safety pen. Get this going. Pop that in there. Do this. Put that in there. Alright, let's take a look at the leaderboard. See if I can still do this. Display capture. And I can just do this, right? Does this work? Yes, I did it. It's a little wonky, but there's the leaderboard. So yeah, Sjano is in first. Pretty much all of this is more or less in chronological order. So Sjano's got 36 points. He's got the most kills with 3. He's 10 points ahead of Dennis, and then there's Killer, Nixer, Panda with the first kill and 2 kills for him, Iron Man for Nixer, followed by Jad, Zalfa, Muck, Joda, myself, Fruit, and Canuck. So, only 12 of us to kick things off, but that is the leaderboard as it is right now. Little fun facts, like I said, smallest attendance numbers for 1 PvE death, which was Zalfa. Zalfa's win streak comes to an end at 4, so Dennis is the next one in line. He's got a 3-game win streak, so good on Dennis. 1 mulligan to Sjano. No notch apples this season, and the first win with potions since Season 6, so this is the first time a team has won with potions in their inventory since Season 6. However, this is the first time that the person who drank potions to win the battle were the original owners of said potions since Season 1. Season 1, Team OP had potions and drank them right away, and or had potions, had them throughout the entire season, and ended up winning UHC with the potions. There have been seasons where people have had potions and lost, or people who have picked up potions from other people and won with them. So, but it's been a while. So this is a new page that I put up. It's the Wall of Fame. We have the Walls of Shame, but we now have Walls of Fame here. So 3 categories right now. These are a couple ones that I might put up later. But we have the MVP, which is a player with the most memorable UHC moments, or the one who puts in the most work, I guess, into their season. Does not necessarily mean that they won. For example, this season is Jad Murdoch, who survived the initial fight and nearly stole some golden apples. So he put in the most exciting effort for this season, in my opinion. Best battle is pretty self-explanatory. All this is pretty much in my opinion, so some people might disagree, but Jsano19 versus Nixer and Muck versus Jad was a pretty good one, probably the top one. My team versus Joda's team is also pretty interesting too, but it was a smarter battle, I guess. But I think this one edges it out a little bit. There was a little bit more comedy to it too, at least from a spectator's point of view. And the Gillette Pro Glide smooth move of the season, which is something I coined way back in season 11, is a smooth move that changed a potential outcome in the game. It's something that stood out above others. So that would be like Jad doing his sneakiness, which helped him outlive Nixer and Muck. So yeah, some of these are subject to change. For example, Season 13, I can't really think of any smooth moves yet, so if anybody has any suggestions for that one. Right now it's just Shostin outplaying me, but it's not really a smooth move when you think about it. Yeah, other ideas I have, the I Shouldn't Be Alive Any award. You know, a moment where they should have died, but they didn't. Best named item. That one would take a lot of research to do. And triple kills or more, because they don't happen that often. So that would be pretty interesting to check out. Let's put this stuff away. And go back into game capture mode. There we go. So, let's see, what else to talk about for the season. How did it go? It went well. Like I said, we made up for the lack of attendance numbers with a good, exciting season. I don't have any gripes with it at all, so it's good. Yeah, I don't have any issues with it. Like, the only issue we had was the bit of a fumbled start with getting scattered outside the border a couple times. Everybody started out pretty close, but that's not that big of a deal. So yeah, I don't really have any issues with this season. How things went for me, you know, following the FIU stuff that Shostin does really kind of puts things into perspective on how well my UHCs have gone lately. My leaderboard kind of is more about results than progress, whereas Shostin's is all about, you know, how did you do in, like, gathering all your gear and preparing for the battles and such. And in that sense, you can tell that I prepare myself well, but when it comes down to the execution of each season, I tend to flounder at the end. So I gotta fix that. Because I do cave pretty well. I just can't seal the deal, basically. So yeah, I gotta work on that. However, with the past couple seasons, I have put less effort into trying to win. When you're in the moment, you want to win, but I'm not as adamant about it as I was. I've kind of shifted my focus a little bit more towards trying to score kills instead. So when I died this season, you probably heard a bit of frustration coming out, and that was simply because I felt like I was close to killing Joda, but came up just short, and I felt like that if I had one more hit on him, I probably would have scored the kill. So that battle's pretty interesting to break down. I like breaking down things to see how I could have done something differently or whatever. And me dying that season came down to two things of note. Splitting apart was actually not that bad of an idea, because we made use of it and were able to counter their counter. And ultimately, in the grand scheme of things for that battle, we kind of outplayed Joda and Panda. It was at the cost of me, but when you think about it, we played that battle pretty well. Even if we didn't even intend to do half the stuff that we did, it worked out in our favor a little more than theirs. So however, a couple of things that resulted in my death that could have changed things, at least for me. First off, again, teamed with Killer, did not eat my apples. I am against being healthy when I team up with Killer, apparently. Because I had 2 golden apples on me that season, and made use of 0 of them. And yeah, I think early on, when I first got hit, I probably could have eaten one. However, as the season progressed, or as the battle progressed, I think there was less and less of an opportunity for me to actually eat one. So the window basically shut after a while, and eventually the opportunity to heal up kind of went away. So and then the other moment was me putting my shield down. If I held my shield up a little bit longer, Killer could have come into the rescue and saved my bacon. But alas, oh no. That's probably the slimes. Alas, I dropped my shield a little too soon, and suffered the consequences of that. But yeah, so if I ate an apple, or if I why are you standing? Don't stand. If I ate an apple, or if I held my shield up, I could have survived, maybe scored a kill. Best case scenario. If I had my apple, I definitely would have had more health and probably could have absorbed a hit long enough to hit Joda and potentially kill him, and then probably get taken down by Panda anyways, but at least I would have had something to show for the season. Alternatively, if I had kept my shield up, I could have taken out, or I could have let Killer take out Joda and then helped him with Panda, in which I don't know if I would have gotten a kill there, but could have been possible. So, but yeah, all hindsight stuff. And it's fun to kind of explore that what-if situation. So, but interesting thing about it all, in the grand scheme of things, it actually kind of, me dying actually kind of worked out in our favor. Not just in the sense of the outcome of the battle, but also everything that came after it. It's kind of like addition through subtraction in me dying, because, and especially in me dying the way I did, because I had left all my stuff to Killer, so he had 2 apples now, and he had all my protection 2 gear, which is important. And he was able to make use of that stuff either to wear or to like fix up his own armor, and that's on top of everything he got from Panda and Joda. So he was a lot more beefed up than he could have been. With us alive together, I would have eaten 1, if not both, of my apples pretty quickly, and that would not have been beneficial to us in the long run, because we would have had less stuff to work with. And on top of that, us being alive together probably would have influenced our decisions on what we would have wanted to do in combat, because Killer ran into Muck and Nixer, and he fought a little bit but then backed off, whereas if we were together, this isn't a guarantee, but we might have been more inclined to try to fight them, because we got 2 people and we can try to work with that, even if we were essentially weaker. Maybe us being weaker would have caused us to back off like that, like we did, but when it came down to fighting Shasta and Dennis, I don't think we would have done much better in that department. Maybe we would have stuck around in the first part of the fight. Maybe I would have sacrificed my body to help Killer escape. Who knows? But I think one thing is for certain, and that is we would not have been able to defeat Shasta and Dennis with all their potions unless we played extremely smartly and made them like waste all their stuff. But that would take a long time to carry out, and I don't think... oh, we disconnected. And I don't think that we... oh, isn't... No, it's not... I lost my train of thought from that. I don't think we would have survived them at all. I don't think we would have been able to play smart in that situation. I don't think we would have had the mindset to play smart, because even though we did just that against Panda and Joda, we didn't really intend to. It just kind of happened that way. Yeah, maybe we could have thought to do that stuff, but it's hard to say. It's all hindsight. So, let's see. Next season is going to be season 22, probably in June, and it'll be the JFS UHC anniversary. This season was the JFS server anniversary, so next season will be the UHC anniversary, which would be pretty cool. I would like to do a free-for-all. I'm kind of itching to do a free-for-all. It probably would not be a good idea unless we have a small turnout again, but we wouldn't know that for sure until the day of the UHC. So, maybe we could try a different format for team structures. Like, maybe what if we held off 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if we held off voting for team sizes until the day of the UHC? Like, I could just throw up a little straw poll right before we begin, give it a few minutes, and let people decide what they want. Because in that way we could, like, see how many people we have, and then I could just like post the options, and we can make do with that. Because then we don't have to do. In that way, we wouldn't have to set up the way we did it this time with doing teams of 4, but except we can't because we don't have enough people, so we're just going to do teams of 2. I think that would save us a bit of trouble there. But let me know what you think about that. So that should probably do for this episode. Yeah, had a good season. Had a lot of fun. Not burnt out yet. We were talking a little bit about it. About why we like UHCs. And burnout from potentially playing them too often. But I've been in 18 of 21 UHCs, and I've yet to feel the burnout. So yeah, I'm still raring to go. I'm already ready for next season. I don't want it to happen right now, but I wouldn't be opposed, just as long as it doesn't happen too often. I think the 3-month structure, 3-ish month structure is perfectly fine. But yeah, so hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and I shall see you all the next time.